Okay. Sorry, I was turning and it's raining. Car story time. My neighbor was downstairs, and anytime I see this lady, I am just like, oh God, please don't talk to me. Because she will literally stop me and talk to me for 20 minutes about some BS, like accusing me of stuff, but in a nice, like, backhanded way. And then she's always got to be like, I've been living here for 25 years. And I'm like, I don't care. Like, what does it matter if you've been living here for 25 years? I've been living here for 6 years. Who gives a crap? We all pay rent. Like, I had welcome mats outside my back door, and I can always hear them, like, shuffling around and stuff like that. And then she caught me one time, and she was like, oh, you have to move your mat because I'm constantly tripping on it. And I'm like, this mat weighs like 10 pounds. You have to be, like, trying to move the thing, okay? It's like one of those core mats. It's not like 10 pounds. I'm over-exaggerating, but still. It's not just moving on its own. And then I moved it all the way to the edge to where it's not by the stairs, the edge of my back porch. And still, she's like, you got to move this mat. And it's like, you're just trying to control everybody in the building. Like, she did it to everybody. So, she's down there, and I'm, like, freaking out. And she doesn't talk to me. I think because it was raining. And she was already in her car, but there are times where she'll even stop me, like talk to me outside the window of her car. One time in the last summer, I'm going to my car, I'm trying to get to work, and she's like, come here, girl, come here. And I'm all like, what's up, lady? And she's like, there's something wrong with my car. It smells like a dead animal in my car. And I'm like, all right, that sucks, dude. Like, not cool. And she's like, she's like, I think it got in my tailpipe. And I was like, if it got in your tailpipe, then, you're going to have exhaust issues and you would know it right away. Like, you can't just pass up something in your tailpipe. So she was telling me she thinks it got up through her tailpipe into her trunk. And I'm trying to explain to her that the tailpipe does not go into her trunk. That is part of the engine, and they don't connect. They're parallel, but they don't connect. And she's not listening to me. And I'm like, lady, I gotta go to work. And she's like, well, do me one favor. And I'm like, what? She's like, smell the trunk of my car and tell me if you smell a dead animal. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. And she argued back and forth with me for like 2 minutes before I was like, I have to go. Like, seriously, be like, no, come on, smell my trunk. And I'm like, no, dude, that's like, you're crossing a line here. We have boundaries. You're going over that boundary. I'm not smelling your trunk to see if there's a dead animal in it. Like, get the heck out of here. But yeah, she's always doing stuff like that. Like, she tried to tell me she got roaches for me. I've never had roaches. Okay? Nothing wrong with that. But I've been living in apartments long enough to know how to handle myself of, like, I get the gel. I get these little traps that, wreck their reproductive system so they can't reproduce. Those things are all over my house as a preventative measure. She's all sitting here telling me to sprinkle borax around the house because I'm giving her roaches. And this, again, is like right after a new person moved into the building. So I'm like, I've been living under you for years now, and 2 new people just moved in. And, like, everybody was switching around apartments, so the person who lived on the 3rd floor moved to the 1st floor, then somebody moved into their apartment new, and she's like, I know it's you because it came up through my floorboards. And I'm like, you're crazy. For one, we don't have floorboards. It's like plastic linoleum over the entire house. And, you're just trying to look for somebody to blame instead of yourself, okay? Because roaches are everywhere, and it's if you attract them or not, okay? So why don't you clean up your foods? But, so yeah, so these are the, like, and then too, one time, I'm like, I used to work like 4 blocks from my house, so I would see everybody in my building at my job. And, they would always say hi and stuff like that. So I'm walking into my job from my car. She's walking down the street. She sees me. She stops me, and she's complaining about the noise it was like a Saturday night. They were having a party, and she's sitting there complaining about it. And she's like, I'm a good neighbor that's quiet. And I'm like, no, you're not. I literally hear you guys arguing at least once a week. You are constantly blasting music at like 11 o'clock at night. And I have never once complained, because I don't care. My kids could sleep through a train wreck, okay? And if you can sit there and blast music 6 nights a week at like 11 o'clock at night, sorry, I just had to vent about this. This lady drives me nuts. We have like a very like tense, nicely tense, because we don't like yell at each other. We try to stay like polite and friendly. But if she crosses a line, I'm about to smack her ass, because like I am sick of her shit. Because too, she constantly overflows her tub, and it's like wrecking my kid's bathroom, to where like the ceiling needs to, and my ceiling in that bathroom has already had to get replaced because of her flooding it so many times. And then she was getting mad at me for calling maintenance to come fix the ceiling, because she's like, I'm gonna get in trouble. And I'm like, well, stop doing it, because you're ruining my apartment. I live on the 2nd floor. There's no reason why my ceiling should be leaking. So yeah. Sorry. That's the story, though, of her trying to get me to smell. Because the reason why she was trying to get me to smell it is because she wanted me to back her in a lawsuit against our management company. This is with the smelling the dead animal. She was trying to say it was their fault that an animal got into her tailpipe, crawled into her trunk, and made her car smell bad, and she wanted them to pay for her car to get fixed and cleaned. And I was, again, trying to explain to her like how they're parallel, they're not connected. And I was like, you can't sue them for that. It's like an open outside parking lot that's gated. It's not like a garage to where they could, they have like rat traps out there and stuff. What else do you want them to do? It's not their fault that an animal outside crawled into your car. She's always trying to like sue the place, like seriously, constantly trying to sue the place. And she's always trying to rope me in to be like a witness. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm minding my own business. You mind your own business. She's a nosy she's a busybody too. She's always like, oh, she called the people that live above me crackheads, and like that she's sneaking people into her apartment, and she's gonna tell the management company. And I'm all like, hold on. And I'm all like, how do you know this? And she's like, I see it. And I'm like, okay, maybe they're just visiting, and I don't smell crack, so I don't know what you're talking. And then she's always accusing me of smoking weed. She's like, the weed is coming out of your house and going into my apartment. And I'm like, we live in 2 courtyards like this, okay? There is over a dozen apartments in my gangway, and I am constantly seeing other people smoking weed. I'm like, why are you accusing me of smoking weed when I literally just saw the guy across the way, hitting a blunt? Like, get out of here, lady, okay? And I'm like, so stop, like, talk. That's her biggest thing. Her biggest thing is saying that I'm smoking weed or crack or cigarettes outside her window. Like, it's going out of my bathroom into her bathroom, and she's got asthma and respiratory issues. And I'm like, lady, you're crazy. And she's like, well, it's some other people you have over at your house. And I'm like, no, it's not, okay? And if my family comes over and they want to have a cigarette on my back porch, they're more than welcome to, because who are you to control what I do at the place that I pay good money to live, okay? So yeah, so this all started because I was like, oh, I gotta get out of here. It's raining. I'm leaving later than I normally do. I don't want to be late for work. And she literally stopped me and talked to me for 15 minutes about whatever BS she's got to complain about, because all she does is bitch and moan. Ugh, so yeah. Sorry guys, I had to rant and get that off my chest because so frustrating. So frustrating. I just wish he would move. Like, just move. Alright? I had it was her and two other neighbors that when I first moved in, they were real bogus to me. Like, my neighbor below me was always like banging on the ceiling saying my kids are too loud if they were just like sitting there playing video games. And then she was saying that I was stealing her mail, and just constantly like saying I was leaving my garbage out, and would take pictures of like the neighbors leaving their garbage out and say it was me. And I'm like, that's not even my back door. Like, and just like constantly complaining on me. And then my neighbors who lived across the way from me, they broke the screen of my screen door on my back porch. The kid came in and ripped off my toilet paper holder, like straight up out of the wall. Like, what? And smashed he did a bunch of things that like ruined the rug in my kids' bedrooms, and like the mom hated me. Sorry, people are calling and I'm hanging it up. The mom hated me. She was always like super rude to me, and I have no idea why she hated me. So yeah, but those two, the one who lived below me moved out 2 years after I was at my apartment, and then the one who lived across from me moved out during COVID. She bought a house like out south, and so now I just got this crazy one. So it has gotten better over the years, like, because I had 3 neighbors that were real trashy to me, and now I just have one. And again, she's not as bad as the other ones, because they would like cuss me out and stuff like that, and I'd be like, I don't know what your fucking problem is, okay? Her, we try to keep it like in polite annoyance with each other. So alright, so it's raining today. It's 45 degrees. Crasher has a super busy day of running around. He's got to take the kids out of school early because Dylan's surgery appointment, and he can't come back in time to get Abby for piano, so he's just taking her out too, and she's tagging along to their 2 doctor's appointments, and then he's just dropping her off with me, and she's going to leave work with me because she's going to do piano and floor hockey, and then come home with me, and he's going to take Dylan to drums. And I already told him he's got to take his car tomorrow morning, first thing in the morning, to get the oil changed. And yeah, so that is everything. Thank you for listening to me rant and getting that off my chest, because that woman drives me nuts. And please accept my awkwardness in asking you to like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell. And you can join me on my journey, and I will join you on your journey through this crazy thing called life. Later, bros.